I'm on. Welcome back to Don't Take the Box. Today we have June's Scrawlbox for you, and since it's already July, let's not waste any more time and get right to it. As always, I'm giving you the first view. And we have, again, as always, first of all, the Scroller Zine, which has the exact same image as apparently this month's artwork. And this month's artwork is by Tessa Harris. I'm going to just leave that here. And we also see the surface for this month. We get a watercolor studio pad by Goldline. I don't think we've had this brand before. 200 GSM, so a little lighter than a regular watercolor pad. 10 sheets. The texture feels pretty nice though. And since it's watercolor, chances are that we are going to get a wet medium in this nicely wrapped little package. Ooh, some things are poking out. So let's be very careful. I feel like I'm losing half my stuff. Anyway, first of all, we see this month's sticker, which has the same color scheme and the same design as the artwork and the magazine. We have this month's supplies list, but I always put that away so I don't get spoiled. And then we get some pencils, watercolor pencils in terracotta, Prussian blue and ivory black by Derwent. As expected, since these are watercolors, we also get a brush. Let's see which, a sea white. We've had a sea white before, I think a size 4, and this is a size 6. So that's neat. Going to create a really nice little set. Then, before we unwrap the final package, we get a fruitinette in citron vert, which is lime, I think, French for lime. And since it's going to be citrus, I'm going to keep it for myself because I really like them. Boop. And then lastly, extra rapid. What is it with rapid? Extra carefully wrapped. There seems to be no real start, so I'm just going to tear it open. Oops. It's very well wrapped. We get 3 little pots called Jackman's Art Materials, but it doesn't say what it is. In the colors mint green shimmer, pearlescent silver shimmer, and pearlescent pink shimmer. All lovely colors, which we will be swatching shortly. as I'm very curious as to what they actually are. I can't really tell from looking at it. If I move the pot around, it doesn't really flow, so it's not powder or not very liquid. Maybe it's a sort of gel? I don't know. I really don't know. But I'll check the supplies list and then get swatchy. First of all, let's start with the pencils. We have here black, and as a pencil itself, it's actually already quite good. Very soft and smooth, which is what I like in a watercolor pencil. I don't just want to use it as a wet medium. I also like it when it functions as a really good pencil as well. I'm going to swatch a little extra with the intention to just here to test it with water. But for now I'm quite impressed with the smoothness of it. Next we have the terracotta, which for me is a little, I always call it or try to describe it as a pink brown, which sounds nice, but actually I'm not a big fan of terracotta. I mean, it's a useful color, obviously, but it's not one I'm particularly drawn to. And then already the last of the pencils, we have the Prussian blue, which is a little lighter than I would have expected from a Prussian blue, but does have that grainy, muted subtone that I like in it. And as I've said with the black, this color as well, it's very smooth. Not very crisp, but then I already don't expect crispness in the line of a colored pencil, let alone from a watercolor pencil. Obviously the leads in these pencils are a lot softer than in graphite pencils. Now let's check that out with some water. It does seem to blend very well with the water, but I don't have a feeling that I pick up a lot of pigment. A little, yes, but not a lot. I'm not necessarily saying this is a bad thing. I have watercolor pencils that do give off a lot of pigment once you wet them, but it really all depends on the effect or the style that you're going for. But here too I have a feeling it blends really well with the water, but I don't seem to pick up a lot of pigment. No judging, just saying. And lastly the blue. Again, a very nice blend, but not a lot of pigment that we can pick up. So something to bear in mind once we get drawing. It does wash out of the brush quite easily. As you can see, we had a white brush to start with and already it's completely clean again. Next, the little pots that we got. I checked on the supplies list and they are also watercolors. So let's check it out. Look at that. So this is the pink shimmer. I'm being very careful, but I'm going to try and use a little bit more. The texture of the paints is almost jelly-like. It's not a dry pan. Wait, I'm going to show you in close-up. So you can see inside it looks like this. It's not a dry pan, but it's not exactly fluid either. If you move it around, it just holds its shape. It's just very soft to touch, almost like a cream or a butter. But look how wonderful this color is. I really, really like it. Obviously, it's pink, so I was destined to like it. But also, I'm quite happy with how well it puts on the paper. And in contrast, it does not seem to wash out of the brush very easily, so that's going to be a bit of a struggle. Next color is the silver. Which I think looked better in the pot than it does on the paper. But again, the texture or the feel of it on the paper is very, very nice. It just melts into the water. You don't have to really work the water into your paint, which you sometimes have to do with watercolors in pans. So that's quite handy. I just don't really like the exact color it gives off, maybe. Maybe I'm just being too picky. Anyway, we're already down to our last color, the mint shimmering green. Again, a color I anticipated of going to like very much, and indeed it is really, really beautiful. From where I'm sitting, I can't see the shimmer though, so I hope the camera picks it up so you can enjoy it. But I don't really get a feel of a shimmer. Not that I mind, the colors themselves are quite lovely as they are. And probably in some different lighting I will be able to see the shimmering as well. So far for swatching, let's get sketchy. June's scroll challenge was Ethereal Entity. some final thoughts. Obviously, very, 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 very happy that we got both watercolor medium and some colors. Quite happy with the paper, but as you can see, it did buckle a little towards the end of my my painting. So the 200 GSM is obviously not as sturdy as a regular or the standard 300 GSM that you usually get for a watercolor paper. But I do think that this paper will work very well with watercolor pencils because they do require a little less water than standard paints. Other than that, I don't really have anything much to add. I mean, I loved the pencils, but it's not really my favorite color scheme. I do like the watercolor pots because the texture is really nice to work with. But I am a little disappointed because they promise shimmer and pearlescent, which I really don't see very well on the page. I used quite a lot of the silver and that does shine a little, but the pink and the green, in my opinion, hardly shine at all. Of course, I did use the pink and the green quite sparingly or very softly, very watered down. So maybe that's just my fault. I do love the color though. It's just a little disappointing that they don't shine as much as I expected. I already ate the Fruitinet candy and I must say it was very tasty. I wish we had more of those. And the brush itself, well, I have nothing really much to add. They promise a lot of water retention, which it did very well, but I am a little sad that already it's completely discolored and I don't know whether to assign that to the brush or to the quality of the watercolor pots which stained it, because it didn't stain at all with the watercolor pencils. That being said, don't forget to like and subscribe if you liked what you saw. Leave a comment if you have any suggestions as to what we can do better. And I'll see you next time. Bye!